We have demonized the government in the United States. We have that fundamentalism that I talked about before. Private is good, government is bad. It's kind of the flip side of what happened in the 1930s and 40s when the private sector was bad. It had brought us the Great Depression, and the government was good because that was the New Deal that got us out of the Depression. Private bad, government good was followed by the pendulum swinging the other way. Government bad, private good. But if you demonize the government for decades, as we have in this country, as you blame it for everything that goes wrong, and you exempt from blame the private sector, it means that when you have a crisis of the sort of this pandemic, you have immobilized. You've taken all the strength away from the government. It has low prestige. We even have a philosophy in this country called libertarianism that organizes into principles that the government is intrinsically a burden and a problem, and the private is always the better way to go. That's fundamentalism. That's not understanding when you need the one and when you need the other in a rational way of organizing to meet the real challenges you face. So now let me take you through the examples of that. I'll start with Great Britain, or the United Kingdom. The United Kingdom has a situation where the government is simply not trusted by the mass of people. Let's remember, the government organized that vote around Brexit, trying to convince people that the problems of their society, which come out of their capitalist economic system, were not the fault of the capitalist economic system. They were the fault of, you guessed it, foreigners, immigrants coming from Europe, and Europe altogether. So that the solution, these folks said, was to get away from the Europeans. And when they talked about the Europeans, they meant the European government. See the picture again? The government is bad. We're going to withdraw from Europe, and that way we won't be oppressed by that government over there. Because if there's one thing worse than a government, it's a foreign government. All government is bad, foreign governments are worse. So the British broke away. This, of course, solved nothing. The last 5 years, because Brexit, the vote of Brexit was back in 2016, the last 5 years have been a downward skid of the British economy, worse and worse, impacting mostly the working class in that society. So they are very angry at the government. They don't trust their government. They are bitter. They want this Brexit craziness over with. They're hoping it'll make it better. There's no evidence to suggest it will. It's a very bad situation. But it's a conservative government that believes that getting away from the European government and having minimum government is the great way to go. It's the old laissez-faire idea that government is best, which governs least. You know what that does? It makes you uniquely incapacitated when it comes to dealing with a threat like a virus. They may have said it was like being in a war, but they did not act that way, and the British are paying a horrific price with a combination worst depression in centuries in England and a terrible COVID experience.